Welcome back again. I was talking about different thin film synthesis technique. Whenever we are talking about the thin film synthesis techniques, uh, there can be, as I mentioned earlier, there are many techniques available for growth of thin film as well as nanostructured material. All these, systems, all those techniques which have been mentioned on these particular slides can be used for synthesis of thin film as well as synthesis of nanostructured material. I was talking about the initial material. If we start from solid material, of course, because since we are talking about thin film or nanostructured material, the end material or end would be a thin, it will be solid, right? The starting material may be anything. Maybe the form could be either solid or it could be like liquid or it could be gas. But that end, you are going to end up with the solid coating, right? So coating of the thin film or coating of one material in the form of thin film, coating of desired material rather in the form of thin film, or coating of nanostructured material, or coating of material in the form of nanostructure in nanoscale dimension, I mean to say. Okay, so the starting material can be solid, right? Or it can be liquid or it can be gases. So if it is solid, then we call it as a particle deposition. If the starting material is solid, we call it as a particle deposition. Particularly uh, the e-beam evaporation technique, that comes under this particular category. Okay, e-beam evaporation comes under this category. Physical vapor deposition is something different. Okay, physical vapor deposition is something different because these three, like physical vapor, the PVD, physical vapor deposition system, can be considered as a part. Like here, this can start from gaseous material as well as solid material. This PVD can be part of the first group or it can be part of third group as well. First category or third category as well. As far as the solid starting material is concerned, you must have seen we have got the vacuum I mean, not vacuum evaporation. We have got um, the e-beam evaporator and thermal evaporation system in our RUSA center. So what happens in thermal evaporation or e-beam evaporation? You are going to your source material in solid form. Let us say we are depositing gold on SiSiO2 substrate. Or substrate is also solid, or source is also solid. What essentially we are doing? We are vaporizing, we are heating the substrate. As a result of that, particles are going to be dislodged. Particles from source are going to be dislodged, and those particles are going to be transported to the substrate region where it will be deposited on the substrate. So we call it as a particle deposition. If your starting material is a liquid, then it can be sol gel, it can be chemical bar deposition, it can be Silar, it can be Longmire blowjet, or it can be electrochemical deposition. And in our laboratory, we are doing we are working on chemical bar deposition as well as electrochemical deposition. In electrochemical deposition, what essentially you are doing? Your starting material is always in the form of liquid, and the end material is going to be a coating of that material in the form of solid on any substrate. Similarly, if the starting material is gases, then there can be a CVD. We do have a CVD machine, that is atmospheric chemical vapor deposition. We have got this machine, APC. I'm sorry, I was disconnected. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was talking about the last third category. Like if your starting material is in gaseous form, then these CVD and PVD are two typical example of this category. Like CVD means chemical vapor deposition. There are different kind of CVD machines, like atmospheric pressures chemical vapor deposition, low pressure chemical vapor deposition, plasma enhanced chemical vapor deposition, metallo-organic chemical vapor deposition, and atomic layer deposition. We have atmospheric pressure CVD machine in our research laboratory. Now here, in case of CVD, the starting material will be in gaseous form, and then you need like a precursor gas, and and then carrier gas, precursor gas and carrier gas, right? So what happens, like whatever the material which you want to deposit, which is in gaseous form, is going to be transported by using carrier gas to the reaction chamber. There, essentially, in case of CVD machine, the the pyrolytic reaction is going to be taking place there, and because of the high temperature, I'm going to explain that in detail whenever we will be discussing CVD, and then that material is going to be deposited. And we are going to discuss atmospheric CVD machine, which we have in the research laboratory. And then we have got another method as far as the gas. If you are having initial material as a gas, the PVD machine, physical vapor deposition. Uh, Again, there are three different methods: evaporation, sputtering, and MBE. As I mentioned earlier, in case of evaporation, sputtering, and MBE, it can be referred as it can be categorized in first category also. It can be included in the first category itself also, right? Because here your starting material can be either in solid form or it can be in gaseous form. We will discuss in detail the evaporation and sputtering techniques, which is included in the syllabus in due course of time. Let us start with spin coating. Let us start with pin coating. Now you must have seen this is available. This machine is available in our research laboratory, in our center. We kept it in thin film. I'm sorry, in the clean room. Okay. Now what is spin coating? As the name itself indicate, क्या होगा? एक मटेरियल हमें लेना होगा, सबस्ट्रेट पे डालना पड़ेगा, एंड सिंस इट इज रेफर्ड एज स्पिन कोटिंग, मतलब उसको घुमा के उसको हम डिपॉजिट करेंगे, राइट? So there can be a very simple, you can define a very simple spin coating machine. You take a stepper motor, okay, rotates stepper motor in one direction as per as per your requirement, have one substrate on the top of that axle, and put some liquid. But of course, whatever liquid you will be using, that should be that is in like viscosity should be more. The viscosity of that drop should be more, so that that material should be very viscous, right? It should be viscous, so that whenever you are putting drop and whenever you will be rotating the that chuck with the desired speed, automatically the material which is in liquid form, semi-liquid form, we can call it as a semi-liquid, is going to be spread along the edges of the substrate. Entire area of the substrate towards the edges is going to spread from center towards the edges. As a result of that, you can end up with the wonderful coating. This is what you call as spin coating. We have got little bit advanced system in our research laboratory. By using this, we can deposit a small puddle of a viscous fluid onto the center of the substrate. So what do you need to do? The very first thing you can see here, this is your vacuum chuck. Vacuum chuck क्यों चाहिए? Because आपका स्टेपर मोटर है जो घूम रहा है, मान लो उस मशीन में, आपको दिखाई नहीं देगा. If it is like nicely packed, you will not be able to see the stepper motor. You will see only vacuum chuck. Why do we need vacuum chuck? क्योंकि अगर वो substrate जो रहेगा, वो vacuum से अगर आप उसको पकड़ के नहीं रखेंगे तो क्या होगा? Whenever you will be rotating that chuck, the substrate is going to be that the chuck is not going to will not be able to hold the substrate, and therefore it need to be vacuum, right? So vacuum is going to help us to have the substrate on the check throughout the time of diffusion, right? And therefore हमें क्या चाहिए, वैक्यूम चेक चाहिए. वैक्यूम चेक से क्या करेंगे, सबस्ट्रेट उसको पकड़ के रखेगा, सबस्ट्रेट जो है सॉरी जो चेक जो है इसको सबस्ट्रेट को पकड़ के रखेगा. And then you can see here you can use a small syringe, right, in which this is the material which you want to deposit, right? This is in semi-liquid form. Viscosity should be more, and put a drop right in the center. This is the material to be deposited, and then rotate that with the desired speed. As a result of that, after some time, maybe after like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you are going to have the wonderful coating of that material on the substrate, entire substrate, which you are which is there on the check, right? So what you have to do, put a small drop of that material by using syringe, spin the substrate at high speed. The substrate need to be need to be rotated, right? The speed obviously, like, it is usually 3000 rotation per minute, but this can be optimized. It varies from, let us say, 1000 to around 4000 rotation per minute. It depends on which material you are using. It depends on what is the viscosity of that material, right? So accordingly you need to optimize the speed, right? So approximate speed is going to be around 3000 rpm. Liquid, like, once you rotate that, liquid is going to be sprayed eventually off the edges of the substrate. Like अब पूरा substrate पे वो क्या होगा, sprayed होगा. The thin film of fluid left behind on the substrate once you stop it. मान लो अगर आपने 10 मिनट तक इसको अगर rotate किया, so at the end of that process, if you want to have the 10 minutes deposition time, so after 10 minutes, if you look at this, you will end up with the uniform layer of that material on the substrate. The final film thickness depends on liquid, the liquid which is used. What is viscosity, उसका drying rate क्या है, percentage of solid क्या है, surface tension कितना है. It all depends on the liquid, and then spin parameter as well. So there are two aspects which are going to define the surface morphology. One is the liquid, what is viscosity, drying rate, percent of solid, surface tension, and the spin parameter. Spin parameter means what is rotation per minute, what is the diameter of the substrate, and again, like, which substrate you are using, right? Whether it is smooth, whether it is rough, whether it is copper, whether it is stainless steel. It all depends, right? Because depending on the material, the surface morphology will vary, right? And therefore the substrate, spin parameter along with the substrate and the liquid is going to decide what would be the properties of the thin film. This is the equipment which we are using in our laboratory. Apex, there are different companies. There are different makes. This is Apex make spin coater. Here you can see you have to remove this, and then you can see the chuck. It is connected to the vacuum pump. You have to switch on the vacuum pump, so that, and then you put your substrate inside, put a drop of that liquid, close this lid, and then the RPM and other parameter can be set here. And then once you start it, deposition time also can be set, whether you want to rotate this for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, right? Then again, there are many other parameters which need to be set if you really want to have a good quality thin film from the spin coating system. Okay, so that was one. Then another method is chemical bath deposition. Chemical bath deposition is very simple and very cost effective. Like spin coating के लिए तो कम से कम आपको ये equipment लगेगा. But for chemical deposition, you don't need chemical bath deposition. You don't need any infrastructure. It is very cost effective, and therefore, in most of the laboratory, this method is being preferred for deposition of thin film as well as nanostructure. You can synthesize nanoparticle as well. But the only problem is the nanoparticle, it would be very difficult to control the dimension of nanoparticle by using chemical bar deposition, because here you don't have any I mean it's not like you don't have, but it would be really challenging to control the parameters of the growth parameters in particular. It will be really difficult to control growth parameters in case of chemical part deposition, and therefore the dimension of nanoparticles, is going to be very challenging aspect to control if you are using chemical bond deposition. Now, what is chemical bond deposition? Chemical bond deposition method is one of the cheapest method to deposit thin films and nanomaterials. As I mentioned earlier, it's not only thin film, you can deposit nanomaterial as well. As it does not depend on any expensive equipment and is scalable technique that can be employed for large area batch processing or continuous deposition. यहाँ पर कोई एक्सपेंसिव इक्विपमेंट की जरूरत नहीं है. आपका जो बीकर का साइज है, इट कुड बी लाइक एनी साइज. यू कैन टेक एज big beaker as you can, and you can go for the mass deposition as well. In 1933, the first time Bruckmann deposited lead sulfide, very first time thin film by using chemical bar deposition. It is also referred as solution growth method. Chemical bar deposition is also referred as solution growth method. So the first time in the history of the synthesis, the material synthesis, in 1933, the well-known scientist Bruckmann deposited lead sulfide very first time by using a chemical bar deposition. So this becomes a historical milestone. This is the kind of setup you need for chemical bar deposition. If you look at this is only, the beaker. This is simple beaker. But if you need a little bit a sophisticated setup so that the temperature can be controlled, then you can use the hot plate, a magnetic stirrer with hot plate. Magnetic stirrer with hot plate. Why do we need magnetic stirrer? Because whatever material, electrolyte rather, we call it as electrolyte, okay, whatever precursor material and then oxidizing material, catalyst, whatever material you will be having in the form of solution, that need to be continuously stirred, right? So for that purpose you need a magnetic stirrer. You can see this is magnetic needle, which is going to be always there in magnetic stirrer. Once you switch on, and automatically the continuous stirring process is going to be continued as long as it is on, as long as this is on. And then you can use simple beaker. This is your electrode on which you are interested to deposit film. Okay, this is your work, we can call it as a working electrode. Truly speaking, in chemical bar deposition, working electrode means the substrate on which you want to deposit the material. Working electrode means substrate on which you want to deposit the material. And then this is a thermometer. This is the thermometer. You don't need anything. This is thermometer. What for thermometer is needed? Thermometer is needed to control the it's like measurement, temperature measurement. But if you are having constant because if you really want to have the if you really want to continue, or if you want to have a specific chemical reaction at a particular temperature, then you need a constant temperature bath, and not constant temperature bath, magnetic stirrer with the controllable temperature, right? So that you will be able to control the temperature of this beaker as well. And this is just a measurement, nothing else. So what this is, and this is stand. So what we essentially needed, what is essentially needed, even if you don't have magnetic stirrer, if you have only beaker, put your solution in the beaker, insert the substrate, and then you are done. You will be able to deposit material, desired material on the substrate. So this is a very simple setup which you are having for deposition of the material, desired material on substrate. there are some because there are different if you look at the chemical reactions which is happening there, oxidation and reduction is the mainly reaction, which is protonation and deprotonation is the main reaction which is taking place in case of the chemical bar deposition. But what I will refer it as a hydrolysis, truly speaking. Um, Now, as far as the deposition of precursor is concerned on substrate, what you need is like hydrolysis of the hydrolysis of the liquid which you will be using for the reaction, right? So this is like whenever you having hydrolysis, it means what happens? You are essentially creating cations and anions. Like hydrolysis reaction is going to be taking place for creating anions and cations in the solution, right? Because whenever you are having solution, the solution is going to be very stable. The atoms in the solutions are going to be stable, and then by using either the oxidant, particularly by using oxidant, what you can do, you can you can initiate the hydrolysis process. As a result of that, you will be able to separate the cations and anions. Once you separate cations and anions, then you will be able to deposit either cations or anions on the substrate, and as a result of that, you will be able to have the the growth of that material on your substrate. This is what it is. This is the main principle involved in uh, uh, the synthesis of thin film by using chemical bar deposition. As far as reaction mechanism is concerned, the chemical bar deposition involves two steps. One is nucleation and another is particle growth. So once that hydrolysis process initiated, first of all, there will be nucleation on the substrate. And then once initiated to begin with, there will be nucleation. Okay. And then on those nuclei, the particles are going to be deposited continuously. We call it as a particle growth. And if you continue that process for the more amount of time, for longer time, it will convert it into the coating, which can be referred as either thin coating or thick coating, depending on what is your duration time. In chemical bar deposition, in chemical bar deposition procedure, substrate is immersed in an aqueous solution containing precursors. I mean, whatever the aqueous solution we have, there the precursors of the material which you want to deposit need to be dissolved in that particular aqueous medium. And as a result of that, as I mentioned earlier, once you have the oxidant, that will help to start the the hydrolysis of that particular medium. As a result of that, you will be able to have the cations and anions, and then you will be able to deposit the desired material on the substrate. Now, what are the factors governing chemical bath deposition? What are the important factors? The bath composition is one. Okay. Now, what is bath composition? The growth rate and quality of deposition film is greatly influenced by the concentration of the reacting species. Now, whatever the precursor species you want to deposit, okay, what is the concentration of that material? Let us say you want to deposit copper, right? So you can start with copper sulfate, right? You can start with copper sulfate. So what kitna concentration आपने लिया, that is going to decide the morphology of the thin film. The film deposited by using low temperature, low concentration are thin and non-uniform. So if you really want to have the thin film, because thin films appears to be a non-uniform, because you will not be able to see that thin film by naked eye, because it would be very difficult to see that thin film by naked eye. But let me tell you, whenever we are talking about thin film, it's going to be non-uniform. If you look at the thin film under microscope, all are requested to mute yourself. Please ensure that you are muted. There is noise coming from one of the student. So thin film deposited by using low concentration are thin and non-uniform. What I'm trying to tell is, like, the concentration of the reacting species, as I mentioned earlier in the first point, the concentration of the reacting species decides the surface morphology. So if it is very low in concentration, we will end up with thin film, and most of the time thin films are non-uniform. So if it is very ultra thin, right? So if you want to have a uniform thin film, then you need to optimize deposition time. This observation can be related to the insufficient supply of ionic species at such concentration level. It means, like, if you are having very thin film and which is non-uniform, it means that you have insufficient supply of ionic species, and you need to increase your concentration level of your precursors. On the other hand, when concentration of the species increases, the quality and uniformity of film goes on increasing, and the film will be thick, right? जैसे मैंने बताया कि आप अगर concentration अगर बढ़ाओगे तो क्या होगा, आपको लगेगा कि उसके surface morphology ऐसी है, but it becomes thick, and therefore, if you want to synthesize thin film, then concentration of the materials to be deposited is going to play a very crucial role. You need to optimize that. This is true up to certain level of concentration, and then saturation in the growth process could be observed. Means what does it mean? It means that जैसे मैंने बताया कि आप अगर low concentration से शुरू करेंगे, so for at low concentration your film will be very thin, right? And the moment you increase the concentration, you will see that you are going to get thicker and thicker film. But as you increase the concentration, your film thickness is going to increase. The thickness of your film is going to increase, but it is going to be up to certain limit. Once the saturation, because if you keep on adding the concentration of the materials to deposited, the point will come, and then you will reach the saturation point. We call it as a super saturation, truly speaking. I mean, saturation means super saturation is different. We call it as saturation. It means even if you add any more solid, I mean, the material, the thickness is not going to increase beyond that limit. Okay. So this is what about, these are some of the important points about the bath composition. Now the pH, this is another parameter which governs the morphology of the thin film. It is most important factor in the chemical bath deposition. जैसे कि pH है, अगर pH भी vary करके आपका deposition morphology, आप surface morphology you can monitor, you can change, you can modify. Third one is deposition time. Deposition time is also going to play crucial role to optimize the surface morphology. इसलिए आपको deposition time भी optimize करना पड़ेगा, because if it is too less, you will end up with non-uniform film. If it is too high, you will end up with a thick film. If you really want to have a thin film, uniform thin film, then deposition time need to be optimized very carefully. Next is deposition temperature. The temperature, again, because the super saturation state, truly speaking, you need, as far as the chemical bond deposition is concerned, you always need to maintain super saturation. Super saturation का मतलब क्या होता है कि वहां पर आपको excess solute चाहिए, because that excess is going to be deposited on the substrate. That is what we call as super saturation. वो अगर कम रहा तो you will not be able to have the deposition of that material on the substrate. But that super saturation state of any material varies with the temperature. So if you have the room, if you measure, if you deposit thin film at room temperature, and let us at the elevated temperature, you will see that complete change in surface morphology, and therefore deposition time need also to be modified, I mean optimized. What are the advantages? The major advantage of CBD is that it requires only solution containers, and the substrate mounting devices, as I mentioned earlier, as I told you in this figure. This is just a beaker, nothing else, and one stand to mount the substrate. That's it, nothing else. So it is very cost effective. So this is one of the advantage. Among various deposition techniques, chemical bud deposition yield stable, adherent, uniform, and hard film with good reproducibility by relatively a simple process. Because you see, if you are comparing all those parameters of thin film with that of with the electrochemical deposition, obviously you will find that the thin film deposited by chemical bud deposition is not going to be it's going to be inferior. It's going to be inferior as compared to electrochemical deposition, because electrochemical deposition will have additional control, and it requires the sophisticated equipment to it's not a cost effective method, whereas chemical deposition is very much cost effective. And therefore, I mean, if you compare, because looking at this particular aspect like cost effectivity, the whatever material you will be depositing is going to be very adhesive, uniform, very hard films can be grown, and the reproducibility is going to be relatively good by using relatively simple process. The chemical bar deposition method is one of the suitable method for preparing highly efficient thin film in a simple manner. As I mentioned earlier, इस सबसे आसान तरीके से अगर efficient film बनानी है तो this could be a chemical bar deposition. Growth of the thin film strongly depends on growth conditions such as duration of deposition, composition and temperature of the solution, and the topographical and chemical nature of the substrate. These are some of the parameters which will decide the surface morphology. सबसे पहले क्या है, जो substrate है उसका topography कैसा है, right? उसका chemical nature कैसा है, temperature of the solution, composition of the solution, duration of deposition time. These are some of the parameters which will decide the growth conditions, which will decide the surface morphology. And what is, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 advantages. And there is one disadvantage. The drawback of this method is the wastage of solution for after every deposition. Like whatever the solution you will be using for deposition, that can be used for only single deposition time, only single cycle, right? You cannot use that again. You cannot use that again. So whatever solution you have prepared for deposition of your material on that desired substrate, that solution is going to be useless. So lot of, I mean, you will be wasting your material substantially as far as the chemical part deposition is concerned. It cannot be reused. Whereas other system, like particularly in chemical part deposition, the material can be reused again and again for deposition. And this is there is some example. You can see this is substrate. You can have the inorganic or organic thin film. First of all, there will be you can. This is what I was talking about. You know, like you are going to have the ions, then you can have the hydrolysis of that ions. Okay, so I mean, you can generate cations and anions, right? And then those, like, first of all, you are going to have the ion by ion growth, means you can have the the nucleation taking place, and then later on that nuclei on the top of that nuclei, the another anions are going to be deposited, and as a result of that you can end up with the thin film, desired thin film. This is another diagram illustrating the growth mechanism for the cadmium sulfide thin film. You can see here, this is the nucleation process. You can see this is cationic precursor, anionic precursor, right? You can see this cationic precursor, anionic precursor. This is what the nucleation can take place, and then there will be agglomeration of those, cadmium and sulfide, precursors, and then there will be crystal growth, right? Single molecule, right? This is how the film is going to be growth. So I'm going to stop here today. So far today we have discussed the different what is thin film, what are the different what is basically thin film, what are different types of thin film, and then we started with two different thin film techniques. We have explained today spin coating and chemical bar deposition. There are certain advantages. Both systems are very simple and cost effective, relatively cost effective, and high technological, the whatever films you will be growing can be used for technological applications as well. So I'm going to stop here today, and then obviously this link is going to be terminated again. You will have to join for last session, which is going to be question answer session. Thank you very much.